Okay, hello. Hello, this should be live with my janky setup here. Alright, so this is mostly just to help keep me on track of things. I'm going to be doing some RPG Maker MV work on a game called Den of Fortune, which, despite everything that you see here, actually has pretty much no work done on it yet at all. So I'm basically starting a project from scratch and building stuff up. So you can see all these rooms are pretty much nothing. These are just placeholder events. They don't actually do anything. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do here... So what is this project? Den of Fortune is going to be a dungeon crawling RPG. I've already removed the title music because that would get annoying listening to that every time. And the gimmick is going to be that this dungeon is going to be randomly generated. So you can see we have this kind of empty square room. We have the stairs we can take to get back out. This is pretty much all we have so far. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to be setting up in this part is hopefully going to be the randomizing system to get these 20 rooms in a random order. And for that, we're going to be using an array. The little boy here is just something that feeds out inputs for me. Test array is, first element of that array is, etc. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be using arrays, and the first task is to have the 20 room IDs put into a random order. If we look at the control variables, I do have variable 11 set up for level 1 array. And we're going to set I'm going to need to come up with some better arrays here. I'm probably just going to delete all of this and start over. All right. So level 1 array equals temp. We absolutely do not want to be doing this. Oh, this is kind of a mess. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to go about approaching things. So what these scripts are doing, the first one is setting variable 5 to be an array with 5 elements from 1 to 5. This is just my basic test script. So I guess what we can actually do at this point now, I don't need to do that. I can just change this to a 5. Okay. There we go. So our fifth variable is an array with the values from 1 to 20. Our sixth variable array access is going to be a random number pulled from that array. So that's the first thing that we're going to be doing here. So currently we have it accessing the first element, element 0. We want it to pull a random element, so actually, control variable, switch, we're going to have a temporary array I can get rid of. I'm not using this anymore. So I've got my test array. This is going to be the array that's going to be seeding it. This is going to be something pulled from that array. So let's use variable 4 here, and we'll set this to be array index. This is the element of the array array that we're looking at. And this is going to be a single variable from 1 to 20, but I think that's going to be from 0 to 19 because that's how it's stored. Okay. This, I feel like, again, actually should be used with probably using a random function to generate this, because this is going to end up being a lot longer than it really needs to be, just using the control variable function. But that's fine. We have a random variable here set into 4. We're grabbing, let's see, $, game variables dot value, spelling matters, value 4. Okay. So what this is doing is it's taking variable 6, which is array access. Okay. Array access is going to become the element at position of variable 4 within list 5. Okay. This should give us a random number from 1 to 20. Counter, we don't have to worry about just yet. This isn't going to matter. So let's test this just to make sure that I'm not completely crazy and that this is actually doing what I want it to do. Okay, that goes up to 20, it cuts off, that's fine. First element of the array is 10. That is not technically true anymore because it's not the first element of the array, it's the 10th the 10th element of the array. That's fine. All right. It's 2. Yep, so we're generating random values. So the next step is to store this value. So we're going to have this be variable 11, I believe, which is my level 1 array. So this is where we're storing. This is where we're going to be storing. Oops, this is where we're going to be storing all the values. It's currently set to 1 to 20, so it's going to have no randomness whatsoever. That's not terribly interesting. So let's instead grab the random value that we set here. So this is just an initialization for this. Actually, you know what? Always comment your code. So we have variable 11. Oops. Is going to be set the create the array for the dungeon variables. And then create the seeding array variable 5. I'm just going to do that to explicitly, just to make this easier to read, variable 11. Let's be consistent with our punctuation. Doesn't really matter in the comments, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so comment next is going to be store a random seed value in variable 6. Random seed value and variable 6. That's what these two things do. Okay, game variables, value 5, random thing. Yeah. So 4 is just a random number going into 6. That's fine. So the way that this is going to work, in order to generate in order to pick all these values at random, we have counter. What I would like to do is I would like random to end at counter. Not at 20, but at counter. Now, with scripting, I'm pretty sure I could do this. I don't actually know what that script call would be offhand. Creating a random number. So let's see if I can find that here. Math.randomInt. Okay, so this is going to choose... Oh, this is actually going to be a much cleaner way of doing what I'm doing. Okay, that's good. Just put that there for now. So instead of what I've been doing, yeah, store random seed value. Let's back up. Let's just start over here. Go through the process again. So we're just creating an array. This doesn't have to have any values in it at all. I could actually just blank this out at zeros. I'm just creating this space so that I can store numbers into it easily afterwards, and it'll already be saved as an array of 20 elements. So next, variable 5 is going to be an array with one of every value. This is what we want. Next, we have a counter. We're actually going to make that 19. Okay. And then array index, instead of doing this, and then this, I think what we can do is we can just insert this here. So game variables dot value set and 6. So that's going to be random here, looking at the sample code. 6 game variables dot value 5. Okay, so we're looking at 5, and then instead of taking this will currently, well, currently it'll be a random number because we're still using this. Let's get rid of okay, this equals variable counter. That's what we want. We're going to set array index to be equal to counter. These are both going to be 19. This is just going to say, so we're actually keeping track of what is the last value in the array currently, the last position in the array that we haven't checked, which is 19. And every time we do this, we're going to cut off one number. We're going to take one number out of the array and store that in the next value here. Okay. The game value is 5, which is this array, but instead of choosing value 4, well, actually we do want value 4. Okay, so value 4. But the difference is, instead of choosing value 4, which is 19, we want that to be where this 5 is. We're choosing a random number up to 19. So in this case, we would actually just go math dot random int game variables value 4, like so. This should give us a random number in variable 6. So this is going to be a random number from 0 to 19. And it is going to be an int because we're doing random int, so that's good. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's just make sure that I haven't completely broken everything. Okay, that's promising. It hasn't crashed yet. 5, okay. Let's do this again. Two. Probably don't need to do it one more time. We're getting different values, so something's working right. I'm going to do it one more time just because I can. Five. Okay. Yeah, and it's only... the reason I'm quitting each time is because it's set to only do this at the start of the game itself, because I have this set to auto run at the very start. Okay, good. This seems to be working. We'll be able to test this momentarily because now we get to make a loop. And when we make a loop, we're then going to... Well, okay, back up. Before we make the loop, we should actually be storing this in here. The value 6 is a random digit from 1 to 20, because that's what we're selecting from this array. So next, we're going to take variable 6, store the taken variable into the dungeon array. Variable 11 0 equals variable 6. Okay, something like that. So this is the goal here. So to do this, we're going to have set variable, set value, it's going to be 11. I think what it's actually going to be 11 0, and we want to set it to 6. Is that right? The game variable 11 0 is going to be set to variable 6. The dungeon array is variable 11. Okay, we're just going to play that. Test array is blah, blah, blah. I can probably remove that. First element is 16. The dungeon array is... Okay, so this did not work. Because I was wanting this 1 to be overwritten with a 16. So something went wrong. We'll keep all that for now. Set value. Okay. Well, let's just check something here. If I do this, the entirety of variable 11 should be overwritten with it. The entire array should be overwritten with a single variable. So this is to check that I actually have the actual basic syntax right. The dungeon array is 3, yep, which is what we would have expected. Okay. Good. So that's working as intended. So now I just need to figure out how to put set value. Yeah, I'm able to set these. The variable 1, 2, and array. Access, set variable. Ah. Okay, so this is just a different way of doing what I'm doing. Set value. Okay. Anyway, in this case, instead of doing a set value, we're just going to go value, game variables value, 11, 0, equals, game variables value 6. Okay. This should be using this here. We're accessing. Okay. Okay, we'll test it. A 1 in 20 chance that even if this does work, we're going to get 1 as the number, and then it won't show anything useful. Okay. 9. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, perfect. This is what we wanted. First value has been set to 9. Okay, so this works just fine. In passing, I suppose I should mention that I don't need to be doing arrays at all. I could just, instead of having 20 numbers in an array like this, I could just use 20 different variables and then manipulate them all in order and have an artificial array that way. I just felt like this would be a lot cleaner, so this is why I'm doing it this way. But obviously I'm a bit rusty on the programming, so we'll just make do with what we can here. Game variables not value 11, 0 equals game variable not value 6. Okay, so we've set this. So store the variable taken. Okay, good. So we have that all figured out. So now we go to the loop. Wait, no we don't. Still not there. So now we need to use our temp variable. I think we're going to go from this. Get rid of that math.random. Okay. So the next step is to go to our seeding array. So let's say that we just generated 9 and we put 9 into the first position here. What we now want to do for this array is we want to take 9, swap it with 20, I guess I don't need to because I'm using a second array to store this. I think I don't need to swap it. I think I can actually just take this number, which is going to be the final number of the array. So that's going to be counter plus 1. And I can just insert that into the position of the number that we just took. Because I'm never going to be looking at this again, because on the next set, I'm going to decrement counter by 1. So math.random variable, it should only give us from 1 to 18, from 1 to 19, right? 0 to 18, so 1 to 19, instead of from 1 to 20. We're going to decrement that every time. So it doesn't matter if this is 20, 19, 18. If these stay all the same, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that if I've already used 9, that means I guaranteed didn't use 20 on that round. So I'll swap 20 into the position of 9. And then I'll count from 1 to 19 with, if I get 9, it would be a 20 instead. And so let's say I get 14, put 19 in there, because we didn't get 19, and then we check from 1 to 18 on the next run. And each time we go up here, obviously. Okay, so now that I have that plan laid out, and I've actually vocalized the thing that I'm trying to do, let's get into that. So, right, so we have 6. We've put the value in. Okay, so the problem with this is I need to know what this value is. Math.random int. And I'm not saving that value anywhere. I'm just taking it. Okay. Well, I guess one way to do that. Yeah, because I have array index equaling counter. I want this math.random int game variable value 4. I don't want to do it that way. I actually want this to be the counter. I actually want to set counter to be equal to that. That's 2. That's fine. Whoops, what am I doing? Don't just start deleting random punctuation. No, we want to do that. Right, 1, 2, 3, that looks good. So what that's going to do is it's going to set value for math.random int 2. So it's generating a random integer from 0 to variable in 2, which is 19. 0 to 19, so it's 20 different values, 0 to 19. Storing that in 4. Okay. Which actually, I can cut this out. I don't need this at all. Okay. Storing that in 4. And then here, we get rid of the math.random int here. And instead, we just put this as game variable.value 4. Okay. So let's just back up again and say, what is it that I actually did here? I took variable 4 and assigned it a random value from 0 to 19. I then went into variable 6 and I set variable 6 to a random element of the array from 5 that's using variable 4 as the index, which is going to be 0 to 19, which will give us a value from 1 to 20, depending on where it is in the index. But the advantage of doing it this way is because of this line, I'm now actually saving that index into variable 4. Okay. So we're using these two here. Now, this shouldn't have changed anything. So unless I've screwed this up somehow, which I might have done, this is one thing I do remember from programming, is you check things frequently to make sure that you haven't screwed it up, because you don't want to be doing hours of work on a system that's broken and then have to try to figure out where it was broken. The first element is 10, dungeon array is 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yep, looks good to me. So I think this is still working. Okay. So let's create another variable. Another variable. This is a huge mess of variables. Whoops. Space control variable. So I don't think I'm still not using temp, but these are all my array stuff. So array index is 4, access is 6. I should probably give these more descriptive names so that I can tell what they are. This is the seed array. That's fine. This whoops is array access. This is the value taken from array. Array index, that's fine. That just makes a little bit more sense. This is also going to be a temp value, but this is going to be a different than temp1, which I'm saving for something else, which I'm probably not using here. I mean, it's a temp value, so I can keep rewriting it anyway, probably, but for some reason I feel like I want to keep it separate for now, so I will. So we have counter, and then here we'll do inverted counter. Okay. And this is equal to counter. So it's going to be equal to counter, but then we're going to subtract. Oops. We're going to subtract 20 from it. So if it's currently counter is 19, this means that inverted counter is going to be minus 1. Actually, we want to subtract 19 from it, don't we? I want to subtract 19 from it, because this will give us element 0. And then we're going to multiply it by -1. Okay, so what does this do that I just did? We're taking this counter, which is 19. We're subtracting 19 from it, so we get 0. And we're multiplying that by -1, so we still get 0. So this is going to be index 0. This is... Inverted counter is going to be the variable that says where in this array we want to store the random variable that we just procured. So this 0 should actually not be a 0. This should be a $sign game variables dot value. Is this variable 3? Is that right? Yes. Okay. It'll go into 0. The reason that I'm doing this is because once we get this going in a loop, counter will be 18 on the next iteration of the loop. 18 minus 19 is -1, times -1 is going to be +1. This will be 0, 1. It'll be the next index. 17. 17 minus 19 is -2. Times -1 puts us up to 2. So that'll go 0, 1, 2. So it'll be the third element. So these three things here together should allow me to increment through here. I'm telling me where I'm storing so I'm not overwriting anything. Okay, game variable equals, yes, equals value 6. That's what we want. And then set value. Wait, 6 equals 5, 4. Right, so what we're doing here, what purpose does this even have? Why are we doing this? This is why we comment their code. This is why we comment our code. Okay, so what has been commented? Creating a variable, dungeon variables in an array. This is 11. Seeding 5. Okay, good. Seeding array, whatever. Store a random seed value in 6. Okay. And store the index of that value in 4. Okay. So that's what all this is. Counter doesn't actually need to be here just yet. I'm going to... Oh, that's fine. So 4 is going to be math.random. Yes, it does, because the counter is being used here. Okay. So, yeah. We're on 19. Do that. Game variables, value 6. 6 becomes in here. We're looking at the random element, and we're plugging that into 6, which is the seed value. Okay. So at this point, 4 is a random number from 0 to 19, which is going to determine the position that we're working with. 6 is going to be the actual value that was in that position. Okay, good. So store it into the dungeon array. This is the next thing that we're doing. It's fine. This, then, we're taking game variable value 11 at... Yes, at the inverted counter. That's the position we want to write into, and we're storing the seed value into that array. That is good. So then what is this doing? We are taking our seed value, and we're giving it... We're writing into it the value... Okay, so I probably just copied something and didn't actually change this, I think. So what this is going to be is this is going to be, again, basically doing the same thing that we've already done. Yeah, it's just this line. It's just this line copied again. Okay. So instead of that, what we want to do is we want to take our seed array. Actually, we'll be better off using this. Take our seed array and at the variable index of, let's see, 4 is our index, right? Yep, index is at 4. So at that position, we want it to be equal to, not 6, we want it to be equal to counter plus 1. We want it to be equal to counter plus 1. I'm pretty sure it's plus 1, but we can check that easily enough. 2. Equals. All right, so we'll test this. The test array is, okay, so 8 got overwritten. First element of the array is 8. That's 8, okay. Right, it's from 0 to 19, not from 1 to 20, so I don't need to add 1. That's why. Okay, yep, that should be right. And as we saw, that was actually written into 5, which is the first array that is being revealed here. Okay, almost finished. This has been an exciting half an hour, I'm sure. So now, right underneath the counter, we want to loop. And all of this goes in here. And we're just going to keep looping this over and over. And at the very end of this, we're going to put counter minus equals 1. Okay. And then at the very end of this, we have to go conditional branch if variable counter equals 0, break loop. This might not store the last variable for us. Might not store the last variable for us. Okay, we've got a bunch of weird stuff going on here. 9, 4, 6, 12, 16, 10, 15, 18, 3, 7, 2, 17, 8, 12. We're getting some repetition. Okay. That's not good. 6, 1, 11, 9, something else. Okay. So we almost have 20 random numbers in order. Is it F6? Oh, whoops. F9? F9, there we go. Right, I can see the whole value by going into here. Although, that's a bit of a mess. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 7. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the seed array here, but it seems to actually work, sort of. Okay. I wish I could go through this step by step. That would be... I mean, I probably can. I just don't know how to do it. I do have quite a bit of experience with RPG Maker, but I'm fairly new to scripting, so this is what's kind of throwing this off a bit here, all these variables that I'm trying to deal with. So inverted counter equals counter, inverted counter minus equals 19. Okay, I don't know why I decided to look at that spot. This is the stuff that's easy to look at, that's why. It's not the stuff that's necessarily going wrong. Okay, from the top, what's going on here? First, I mean, the obvious thing to do is just to put in a whole bunch of text boxes that print out the variable at every stage. In fact, okay, let's do that. Show text. The dungeon array is currently, and then what is the syntax for this? Display variable is \v11 in square brackets. Okay, \v11 in square brackets. Okay, good. And we're going to do this one more time, which is going to be the seed array. That's going to be variable 5. Okay. So now we're just going to go through this, and we're going to see what's going on with these numbers, hopefully. This is going to be really painfully slow. The dungeon array is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I don't have the face, so I can actually see the whole array. Okay, this is... I should just remove the face from this guy. I don't need the face for the boy. So we learned something useful already. Okay, so at the start of this process, the dungeon array has not been modified. That's good. The seed array is currently also unmodified. Good, okay. Dungeon array is currently 11 gets stored in the first spot. So what does that mean? That means that where 11 is in the seed array, we should have a 20. We have a 19. Okay, good. Good as in good, I've spotted what the issue is. Right, because we're supposed to be taking the last element and moving it down. Dungeon array is 5, so in 5 we should have a 19, but we're going to have an 18. Yeah, okay. Good. Currently 17. Right, should have been an 18, but instead it's a 17. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay, that was really painless, actually. I love it when testing your code is painless. It take a really long time to find your mistakes sometimes. Okay. So what is the issue? The issue is that with the seed array, so I was right. I do need to add 1 to this. Of course I do, because the value and the index are off by 1. That's okay. Now, I have a suspicion that this is not going to work, but I'm going to try it, and I'm going to be hopeful. All right. Let's see if the syntax will allow for that. Just add 1 to that value. Add 1 to that value. The dungeon array is currently as it should be. Seed array is currently as it should be. Okay, so nothing has been done. Dungeon array, 5 is the first value. So looking at the seeding array, the 5 should be a 20. It is a 20. Okay. 4 should be a 19. 11. 11 should be an 18. Okay. 6. 17. Okay. 10. 16. I could be erasing all of these to make this clearer, but I'm just kind of deciding that the values at the end that we're no longer using, I don't care. so I haven't bothered to modify them. All right, we're going to keep going with this until we get a repeat, though, because I want to see... Okay, good. We got 18. Where was 18 stored? 18 was stored... well, somewhere else, but now it's the 17. Okay. 8, 9, 10. I might be off a little bit. Yeah, okay, this looks like 15. Just got a 10. 16, 17, 18. Okay, we still have some repetition. Still have some repetition going on. I guess I shouldn't have rushed through it. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of things before we get into this. First, none. Okay, good. I didn't hit apply, but I hit apply only matters, right? If you want to save it without closing the window, okay, just saves it with closing the window. Okay, we're going to check this. Yeah, we're going to check it again. And I'm going to be a little bit more careful about this because I don't know why we're getting. So I guess I'll go through it in painfully slow detail. In fact, let's just do this. So we have I want to do it this way. Sure, this is how we're doing it. This is the dungeon array or the seeding array or something. I haven't decided yet. Dungeon array. I don't actually know why I'm writing this out. I don't think this is actually going to help me. So 8 gets pushed into the first slot. All right, so this will be changed to 20. Yeah. Two, that means that, yep, 2 becomes 19. 3 becomes, or 10 becomes 18. Yep. 4 becomes 5. 5 becomes 17. Come on, do this properly. So then 18 becomes 16. Yep, so we have no 18 anymore. Good. Twelve becomes 15. Twenty becomes 14. Four becomes 13. Apparently my brain is starting to have trouble processing this. 17 becomes 12. That's fine because we don't actually have another 12. 13 becomes 11. Oh, right, and 13 is up here. That's what... 13 is up here, okay. Uh, 14 becomes 10. One becomes 9. Six becomes 8. Okay, I think I'm starting to see what the problem here is. Yeah, okay, no, I've got it. I've got it. So the issue is that I'm just subtracting 1 each time for the number that I'm inputting in, when what I need to be doing is I need to be looking at what the last index is in case it's something that's already been replaced, and re-replace with that. Okay. So this was useful. I figured out we had 2 8s. Okay. So where am I doing the wrong thing? I'm doing the wrong thing here. This is not value 2 plus 1. This is value... of counter, I guess. But didn't I already do that and it was wrong? Oh, no, 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 no. It's because I'm not doing this as an array. That's why. I'm just creating a value. Instead, what I want to be doing is I want to be looking at game variables.value 5. Okay. Copy. And we want this to be equals value 5 at the index of this. Indexes go from 0 to 19, not from 1 to 20. So I think that'll do it. And I know everything I'm doing is probably impossible to follow unless you already know everything that I'm doing. And even then, it's probably still not that terribly useful to anybody. Okay. Did we just hit the same seed? Dungeon array. No. Whoops. Okay, we're just going to delete all this and we're going to go through it again slowly and painfully. Make absolutely certain that the thing is working. Because as it was previously, it was kind of sort of working. Like the first 10 numbers were fairly consistently, although potentially not always, working out. So in this case, dungeon array is, first integer is 9. So we're going to put 20 here, right? Seed array is 20. Okay, good. 15. That's going to be 19. 12 should be 18. Yep. 13 should be 17. Okay, good. So this is the first time where we get to test what's going on here, I think. No. No, this is not a test yet. Because we're currently at 16. 16 is going to be... So 16 goes into the 17. Right, 18, 16. Okay. 19. Okay, that's fine. 15, however, is 19, so this is where we get to test it. So the dungeon array is currently 7. So 7 should be 15, right, on the previous algorithm. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. However, 15 is currently 19, so this should be a 19? Okay, good. Right, because we're not storing 15, because we've already used 15. We want to store 19 instead. Okay, I think this is going to work now. Dungeon array is currently... let's see, we got... So that's 7. My brain just shut off. I'm just going to click through this, and I'm going to see what the final result is. And see if this works. Because I think we fixed the issue, and then my brain just stopped working. So since this isn't helpful anymore, 16, 17, seed array is currently 18 has been seeded, and then it stopped. Okay, we might have an issue there as well with it ending too early. I think that was only 18. Test array is 20, 20, 19, 20. Yeah, that's about what we would expect, I suppose. Oh yeah, because we had 19 to 20 left for the very end. Okay, let's just go through this and make sure every digit only appears once. 1. Well, there's going to be 20 digits, so we'll just count up and make sure we get to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. That seemed to work. Seemed to work. I'm a little bit concerned that the last two digits were 19 and 20. It could just be coincidence. But what we're going to do now, we're going to go in here. We're going to delete these two messages. Get rid of this. No, don't save it. That's fine. Save. And this way, we should be able to just talk to the boy and see our final array really quickly. Test array is garbage. First element of the array is 5, doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to count this again. Ended with 20 again, we had two 20s. Okay, yep, so there's still an issue. I think it's not calculating the last digit. 19 was somewhere else this time. Let's just make sure that everything else is working fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Are we lacking a 17? It looks like we're lacking a 17. 18, 19, 20. So this should have been a 17. Okay. Cool. I thought that this might be an issue because we're going from 19 to 0. We still want it to run when it's at 0, so we'll just change this if counter is less than 0. All right, let's do it again and make sure that last digit is not 20. First array, first element. I should just get rid of those two. It's garbage data at this point. Okay, last element is not a 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Beautiful. Okay. We have 20 digits arranged in a random order. We know how to access them. Seems kind of sad when I think about it that way. It's like all I accomplished in an hour was creating an array and putting 20 numbers. I haven't even started connecting all the rooms together or any of the fun exciting stuff, but I figured getting these data structures sorted out was going to be incredibly important. I learned a few things about how to write in the variables and the scripting, so that's good. So once I have all of this done and working, I should be able to make more visible progress, more satisfying progress on the rest of it. This is going to be a really weird way to start a series on RPG Maker, I suppose, but that's what we're going to go with. And I guess that's all I really want to do for now. I'll just let this sit. I'll probably check this again off camera, and then I'll try to be streaming this regularly on Sundays, my time, at 8 p.m. That's Korea Standard Time. 8 p.m. on Sunday, and really the goal is just to force myself to work on this project periodically and regularly. So hopefully I'll be a bit more organized next time. But that's going to be it for now. Where is it? Here it is. So yeah, bye for now.